So just for our listeners, Hannah's marketing manager at Roundtable Learning. So can you tell our watchers, Hannah, what your company does and what industry you operate in?
Yeah, so we're a learning company. We provide custom training content to the Fortune 500. So some of our most notable customers are Amazon, Walmart. We work with BNSF, different food brands like Mars and Kellanova, all that fun stuff.
Awesome. So some big names. Perfect. So thank you so much for the introduction. So to start off, I'd like to ask you a slightly more general question. So how would you assess the current state of online customer acquisition? So, and what business challenges would you say your industry is facing at the moment?
It's difficult. We've seen a lot of change in online acquisition, primarily around um, SEO and how that's being impacted by different AI agents. I mean, just last week, Google announced that they're going to be getting rid of Google search. So it's been an interesting ride, but I'm lucky to have Delante here working with us and helping us out.
Awesome. So great to hear. And would you say it's easier or harder than it was a few years ago?
It's definitely a lot harder. Um, Traditional SEO allowed us to kind of play by a playbook that was fairly well known. And now, with all the changes that have been happening, yes, you need SEO as a foundation, but you need to be doing a lot more rather than just the standard, blog writing and keyword cramming, stuff like that.
Yeah, search has changed significantly in recent years. Things used to work differently. Online presence obviously shaped in a different way. So, in your view, what's the biggest challenge for today for companies that want to be visible on Google? I'm asking you as someone who can observe this from an expert's perspective within a business, not just from an agency point of view.
Yeah, I'd say it's staying competitive. There's no longer, uh, top five links on Google. It's really about the quality that you offer and making sure that you're sharing your story through all of the different lenses that the internet has to offer. So it's not just about writing blogs anymore. It's not about keeping testimonials on your website, landing pages, all that. It's really about building trust within the internet community as a whole. So I'd say that's the biggest challenge because there's a lot of ground to cover, but it's definitely the most impactful and most important part of it.
Okay, so some really noticeable changes, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So before we get into the collaboration itself, I'd like to take a step back. And what did your situation look like before you even started to think about SEO or SEM? If you can talk us through what was happening with your company's online visibility or your biggest challenge at that point before the collaboration.
Yeah, actually, we're probably a unique scenario. We had before we started working with Delante, we had gone through an entire website migration and it wasn't implemented correctly. So our search presence was zero. We were really struggling. Our website had a lot of bugs in it. It wasn't built in a healthy way. And we were really struggling to kind of regain the footing that we previously had in traditional search. So we got with Delante to help solve that, fix that, and then also grow from there.
Awesome. Was there a specific signal that made you start looking for an agency specifically or a collection of factors?
Yeah, I'd say our traffic was trending down for quite some time. And then at the same time, we started researching and getting all these updates and observing what AI was doing to search. So it was kind of a double whammy. And we were like, our team is very small here. So we decided we needed to outsource and hire some professionals to really get us back on track and where we need to be.
Okay, so that's when you found us at Delante.
Yes.
And if you could just talk us through, yeah, how did that happen? So how did you hear about us? And what was the kind of overall deciding factor when choosing Delante?
For me, I was doing search and I was thinking about what I was trying to accomplish here at Roundtable, right? I had my problem. I was very specific in how I was using it on search because I wanted to make sure I found the company that could do the same thing for me, right? So I was very much troubleshooting. I wasn't just searching, oh, top SEO companies around. I was saying, hey, this is my problem. Who's the best partner I can work with to find my solution? And that to me, by part of Delante offering that exact solution and implementing it in search, told me that, okay, they're the ones I need to work with.
Okay, so really hit the pain points and really tick the boxes in terms of what you needed at the time. So it's
Yes.
yeah, great. Yeah, perfect. And do you remember exactly when the collaboration with Delante started? How many years have you been with us?
I think we're approaching 1 year here in the next month or two. Or maybe we
Okay,
already have. Yeah.
so anniversary coming. Well,
Yes.
so tell me a little bit, if possible, about your expectations at the beginning of the collaboration. So did you have specific goals set for yourselves, or were they made together with the team once the collaboration started, or the introduction, for example?
Yeah, so my expectations were high on the side of a communication standpoint. So I had previously worked with different marketing consulting firms in the past, and I was really disappointed with the level of communication, the understanding, and staying on track. So while I was vetting out a new vendor to work with, um, Delante probably thought I was a little bit crazy because I asked, I want weekly updates. I want to make sure everyone's working together because I know we have a lot of ground to tackle. So it was less about hard and fast metrics to be proven in a short time frame. It was more about we are going to be working together and I need all of us working really, really hard and I need to trust that you are carrying your weight. So they, of course, said, yes, we will be fully transparent with you. We'll keep you in the loop. And then as time went on, it was very obvious. My team was doing everything possible, thinking outside of the box, and really going above and beyond for what I had needed and what we had originally scoped, quite honestly. Um, and it was just a night and day comparison in comparison to the previous companies we've worked with in the past.
Amazing. And perfectly answers my next question of how does the collaboration look like from the inside? But you explained perfectly that, yeah, you have your expectations and it's met. And can you tell us a little bit about the communication? So how does it look from a day-to-day basis? Do you receive regular updates, or um, what does it look like in practice?
Yeah, my team's great. I have to give a special shout out to Bartek. He really goes above and beyond for me, and it really feels like they are part of my internal team here at Roundtable. So we meet every other week just for like some updates, but we're constantly emailing one another with updates. Here's what I've been able to accomplish. How do we go about that? But the most important part for me is it's not just me sitting there kind of like, oh, I want to try this, I want to do that. Of course, there's a little bit of conversations going that direction, but Bartek comes to me with ideas. He's sitting there and he's observing our website, our traffic numbers. He's monitoring the performance of everything, and if something isn't going the way that we had intended, he's already thinking of the next way to improve it and make it better. So he's
Nice.
very proactive.
Exactly. The words exactly. So proactivity in practice. So let's move on to the last question. If you were to look back where you were a year ago or a year and a half ago before the cooperation started, and you had to give one piece of advice to a company in this position, what would the main piece of advice be?
I would say don't be afraid to address your problems. It's definitely worth it. Um, Again, there's a lot that goes into the new age of digital marketing, and it can be extremely intimidating and it is difficult to keep up with. But when you have a team that's trying their best, staying ahead of the trends, and really monitoring everything, it feels like my team has doubled in size by working with Delante. So I'm really grateful for that. And I would say do not hesitate to reach out and work with them.
Amazing. Really nice to hear, and a really nice way to end our interview as well. So, Hannah, thanks so much for today's conversation. I hope
Absolutely.
everyone watching takes something concrete away from this. Not just those considering Delante, but anyone wondering what to do about their online visibility. So I think, Hannah, you summed it up perfectly for us. And thanks again.
Awesome.
Thank you.